Hello everybody and welcome back to Sunshine Islands. It is now the 28th day of winter. We are coming dangerously close to finishing up our first year. I've gone ahead and made some more notes of a few things that I want to cover before the year is all said and done. And I think I'm going to have videos right up until the end of the year. Chen's is closed today, and I would like to buy some things from him, so we'll probably do that tomorrow. It's also Witch Princess's birthday, and it'll be kind of our last opportunity tomorrow to buy things because the very last day here is a festival. It's sort of like the New Year's Eve festival, and then that will bring us right into year 2. So I have a couple of things to talk about today. I've gone ahead already and done the farm work. Figured I'd get that all out of the way first. And we should head on over to Fruit Island because we raised it, but I haven't had the chance to come over and get a bit of a tutorial on it. Ganon tells me you built a bridge to Fruit Island. Do you know how to grow fruit trees? I do, but I'll let Tara tell us about it. It's very, very easy. Growing fruit trees is pretty similar to growing crops, but there are some differences. You don't need to till any land, you just sow the seeds on one of the spots. You need to sow them at the center of the spot, otherwise they won't be put down in place. Typhoons and blizzards can bring unprotected trees down. To protect them, you can build fences around them. To build a fence, just put a piece of building material in the middle of the spot. It only takes one piece of building material to make a fence for a tree. And that's just about everything. So yeah, very simple. You basically just plant it, you monitor it, and they take a very, very long time to grow. But you can see we have a lot of space here. We have the potential to grow a lot of different trees. And in order to build fences, you just have to walk up to the plot and throw the building material right in the center, like so. And you can make a fence out of any building material, so you can use lumber, material stone, and you can also use golden lumber. Now, this is where golden lumber shines, and this is why I was so obsessed with getting one of these going into year 2 for growing trees. And the main reason for that is because when you have a fence that is made of golden lumber, you never, ever, ever have to replace it. It is good for life. So when we have a fence built out of wood, it's going to degrade a lot faster than the material stone, and then the golden lumber will last forever. So when you have golden lumber around your trees, you never have to worry about your trees getting destroyed in a storm or a typhoon or a blizzard. You can be inside your house waiting for the day to end, and you have the peace of mind of knowing that your tree wasn't destroyed in the process. You also do not have to spend the materials and the time needed to grow around and replace the fences, because even if there isn't a storm, I do find over time the fences kind of do naturally disappear on their own. So you do save a lot of time, and you have a little bit of peace of mind with the golden lumber. There is also a sunstone on this island in the southeastern bush over here. And tree seeds are one of the things that I'm going to buy from Chen tomorrow. I also discovered that there is a way to cook gold lumber in your kitchen, which is pretty wild. You can give a piece of gold to the cafe owner and she will give you the recipe for it. That is something I'm probably going to do just to sate my curiosity and see exactly what that entails, but golden lumber, no matter how you slice it, is not easy to get a hold of. I still think the easiest way to get golden lumber is to befriend the monkeys over on Wild Animal Island, which is probably what I'll do. And we should also be able to get a second piece from Witch Princess next year for our birthday, but by that time, hopefully, we will have a few pieces for a couple of our trees. I've started to give gifts to Chen and Charlie, and I'm hoping that by giving them their gifts, I will not only get their gift Sunstones, but I will also get the household Sunstone from Chen. I didn't really have anything good for Chen and Charlie because they both enjoy curry, and Chen really likes noodles, and I don't really have access to those items. But as it turns out, I can boil one of my eggs and give that to Chen as a nice, easy, cheap gift. And Charlie likes amethysts, which is great because I have a whole load of them that I've been giving to Sabrina and Regis. So hopefully in a very limited amount of time we will be able to get some more Sunstones from them. If we go into the assets menu, you can see that we are currently at 6 Sunstones and we need 10 to be able to raise our last island. I got a Sunstone off screen from taking the boat over to Meadow Island, and I didn't really feel like reloading the entire day just to show that off. I have done that in the past and we have seen the cutscene for that, so I thought I would just mention it rather than reload my entire save. But it's great because that's an additional Sunstone that we didn't have before that we now have. So we have a couple of more to grab. I also have a Sunstone that I can get from Slater when he's home, his Friendship Sunstone. So I'll probably wait until the end of the day and then go and visit him and grab that. I guess I should also give Lily a piece of gold while I'm here, since she is pretty far behind in terms of friendship. I would love to trigger her first heart event, but I'm not able to do that because it has to be a sunny day. When springtime rolls around, we have many heart events to catch up on. We've fallen a little bit behind because I've had so little sunny days in the wintertime, and even if it's a cloudy day, a lot of these heart events cannot be triggered. And kind of the last thing I want to talk about today is the fact that I hired the fishing sprite team. I did this and I tested it out yesterday. So yesterday was a fishing day for me. I spent most of my day and my time and my energy fishing because I wanted to test out to see whether it really helped or not. I had gotten the comment that I should try and hire the team to help me with fishing. And I talked a little bit about that in a previous video, how to hire them. And as it turns out, they really do help. Very significantly, in fact. So I wanted to make sure that I demonstrated that in a video, so we're probably going to spend a good chunk of this video today doing a little bit of fishing. And I guess while I'm here, I can try and give her a piece of gold for the golden lumber recipe and see if we can check that out as well. Because that might be something that we can explore later on if we don't want to wait around for chance to get some golden lumber. If we can cook it at home, that would be pretty cool. Yeah, she just made us gold lumber, or made us the recipe for golden lumber using one piece of gold. So unfortunately I had to sacrifice a piece of gold, but that's okay because obviously as I get more food items, I can go back to cooking and then I can go back to mining I've kind of had to stop mining for the season now because I simply ran out of cooked dishes, and I've also done a lot of mining and I wanted a break. So we'll fish on this island just because we are close to the cafe. I'll probably want to eat a sandwich after this is all said and done. But what I'm finding by hiring the Harvest Sprite team, not only does it seem to give me more opportunities to reel the fish in, the exclamation point appears a lot more frequently, but it also seems to be the case that it's easier to reel them in. Like, the window seems to be a little bit more forgiving. And just as an example, I mean, this isn't going very well so far, but yesterday I managed to catch at least 12 fish. I did actually sell a couple as well. I caught 8 cans, 5 boots, and 12 branches. And that was all in one day of fishing, which is phenomenal. I mean, I hardly ever catch 12 of anything on a day. I mean, I just don't have that sort of luck. So I do think that hiring the fishing team does make a significant difference, even if you only have the single base Sprite. This does really seem to actually help a lot. Of course, my stamina is draining like crazy because I'm out in the snow today. Yesterday was a cloudy day. I was able to get a little bit more fishing done, but I just wanted to show this to everybody as an example. You can see that the time is much, much quicker in between being able to reel stuff in. I had much, much better luck yesterday. I'm kind of not doing very well right now, but even so, there is a pretty significant difference. I'm not having to wait 20 or 30 minutes of in-game time to be able to reel a fish in. It's pretty consistent. And even with my bad luck, I've managed to already catch 4 fish today, which isn't so bad. So I have a huge stack of fish here. Most of those I will actually probably sell. Because Lana is so far ahead in heart points now, she's at a yellow heart, I don't have to worry about giving them gifts as much. I can sort of slow down. Because keep in mind too that we are still waiting on our very last bachelorette. We actually are still missing one person. So if that person becomes very interesting and that is a person that you guys vote for me to marry, I mean, I'm going to be miles ahead with everybody else, and that particular girl is going to have a lot of catching up to do. And Julia and Natalie are very, very close to a red heart at this point as well. And then I can start working on some of the other girls that are a little farther behind. Remembering, of course, too, that even Elisa has her own heart events for us to watch as well. Yeah, for some reason, I'm having more difficulty with the timing today than I did yesterday. I was consistently reeling in the fish with no problem, but maybe now me trying to do commentary and concentrating at the same time or something is throwing me off. But anyways, I think I've made my point. I do believe the fishing Sprite team really, really does make a significant difference and really does help. Now, unfortunately, they are going to have a very long 10-day rest period after today, so it's going to be some time before I'm able to hire them again. But even if I can just hire them a couple of times, spend a few days here and there fishing just to increase the amount of fish that I'm catching, that will get me my fishing sunstone much, much faster. And I still have a couple of things in my little to-do or to talk about list that I have, but we are going to be playing tomorrow, and we will be covering some other content before the season ends. So I'm just kind of waiting around for Slater now. It looks like he's home, which is great. We can just pick up his Sunstone here. The other day I found the stone in the mines. It's a Sunstone, right? I've got no use for it, so take it if you'd like. Alrighty. Thank you. That's great. I think now the remaining sub-villager, the only sub-villager that we have left to befriend really is Carol, and that's another character I haven't really done anything with. And technically the cafe and the diner owner will give you Sunstones, but because there's no way to increase their friendship, I do believe that just comes from eating their food and from learning recipes from them. And speaking of recipes, I suppose that we should try and figure out the recipe for golden lumber. I don't even know where it would be. I think it's in the other category here at the bottom. I don't even know where they would put it, but I'm assuming it's... oh, here it is, yep. So we would need a $10,000 ticket, a piece of lumber, a piece of gold, a piece of silver, and a piece of bronze ore. That actually is not so bad. The only expensive part of that, of course, is the $10,000 tickets. You can purchase them from Chen, and the ores can only be found in floors 26 and lower in the mine, so this would take quite a bit of effort, and it could be very, very costly to do this, but I think buying a piece of lumber from Ganon is like $100,000. And I should actually just go and confirm that right now, because yeah, $10,000 is a lot of money, but $100,000 is way more money. $10,000 tickets are another item that you can potentially get the wild animals on Animal Island to fetch for you. But once again, that's completely a chance thing, and that does take a lot of time and effort. So yeah, $100,000 to buy one piece from Ganon, or $10,000 give or take to make one in your kitchen. So I think that's a useful piece of information to know if you kind of want to do it yourself. The only other thing I'm thinking is that that is probably a high-level recipe, and so I would need to cook a lot more and get my cooking level up a lot more to be able to actually make that recipe without failing. And that's definitely not a recipe you would want to fail, because you would lose your ingredients in the process, so you would lose your ticket completely, and it would be a lot of money down the toilet. So that's pretty much all I wanted to cover today. Just talk briefly about the sprites, go over a little bit about Fruit Island. Tomorrow, like I said, is just gonna kind of be a closing out of winter video. We're gonna do some shopping, talk about some other things that I've sort of neglected to mention, and then we will carry on from there. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.